Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting of the University City Council to order at 6:30 p.m. on July the 8th. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Clay. Councilmember Carr.
Present.
Councilmember McMahon.
Here.
Councilmember Hales.
Here.
Councilmember Cusick.
Here.
Mayor Crowe.
Here. Thank you very much. Before you, you have the agenda. Could I have a motion to approve the agenda for tonight's meeting? Motion by Mr. Cusick, seconded by Ms. Carr. Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion, those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. On the agenda tonight, you do have one proclamation, which is for the month of July being designated as Park and Recreation Month. The council has signed that resolution and will provide it to the Parks Department for public disclosure. You have before you the approval of the minutes from June 10th, 2019. Is there a motion to approve those minutes? Motion by Ms. Carr. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Cusick. Any discussion? Hearing none, those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. You have before you the June 17th study session minutes. Is there a motion that they be approved? Motion by Ms. Carr. Is there seconded by Mr. Hales? Is there a discussion? Ms. Carr? Oh, okay. Hearing no discussion, those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. You have before you the June 24th joint study session minutes with the Planning Commission. Is there a motion to approve? Motion to approve by Ms. Carr, seconded by Mr. Cusick. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it. You have before you the June 24th regular session minutes. Is there a motion that they be approved? Motion by Ms. Carr, seconded by Mr. Cusick. Any discussion? Ms. Carr? There's something going on in our room. Any discussion? Hearing none, those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. You will please note that the University City School Board has appointed Matt Bellows to the EDRST Board, replacing Christine Hendricks for the upcoming EDRST Board meetings. Mr. Westbrooks and Mr. Diesler were sworn into the Board of Trustees this week. We will now move to our first set of citizen participation. The people who are speaking during this section, by the way, since we have a number of folks who have asked to speak on agenda items, this section of the agenda is for those folks who are speaking on non-agenda items. It is limited to a total of 15 minutes, and each speaker is limited to 5 minutes. When you approach the microphone, we would ask that you please give your name and address, and then adhere to the time limit of 5 minutes. The first request to speak we have tonight is Ms. Donna McGee. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Donna McGee. I reside at 7584 Melrose in U City. Again, the tree issue continues. It's just me, just who I am. Thank you for this opportunity. My tree issue continues. The encroachment issues continue at 7584 Melrose. The forestry staff and street department have been gracious. They've been awesome. I have no gripes against the staff members who've come out and attempted to remedy or pacify the issue. However, the tree is still growing. That's what trees do. I get that part. It is what they do. It's just the wrong type of tree in the wrong place. It's a sycamore tree, a tree that, based on the research, should be near a stream or in a larger open area, or maybe an area with a tree lawn, such as Del Mar, something that anchors it a little bit better. But the large branches are protruding past my property line, and I want them to be removed. It is lawful for me to remove them since it's over my property line, but I want to respect the fact that this is the city's beloved sycamore tree, Tree City, USA. You can still be Tree City, USA. The roots are protruding through the city side of the property line through the recently laid asphalt, causing my car to scrub and my contractor's truck to scrub, leaving gashes in the asphalt, and those marks are evident. So again, a tree that's meant to be for a park or open area is planted right at the base of my driveway. It's a root. I thought it was a dead animal, but It was a root when I examined it, and so I've tried to kind of shave it down, but it's still there protruding, very evident, and I don't want anybody to cause harm to their property, but I extend the invitation of the council members to access my driveway. You're more than welcome to pull up in my driveway and out, back in and out, and see what I endure. I've said this before the council, port council or whatever, during my appeal process, but everybody wants to talk about what kind of car I drive. Nobody really wanted to address the information, even open my hand out. So I want somebody to actually see what I experience daily. And again, I love you, city. I was once told, well, why did you move here? I've been here since the 70s with my parents in the city, so this is where I belong, and I'm proud of the city. So this just happens to be something that I'm really concerned about. Again, I would like the tree to be removed, and if the city wishes to replace it with a smaller tree from the tree manual, which would still allow U-City to be Treaty City, USA, since that's a prestigious thing and it's okay. This is serious to me. It's worth consistently addressing until the tree is gone. I'm up for addressing it, as long as it takes. I am invested in U-City as a homeowner, and I've matriculated through the U-City School District, so I have pride in U-City. I've alerted my homeowner's insurance about my ongoing quest to access my home and protect my home from this hazardous tree. It took a very long time and lots of presenting to get the branches from over my roof. The branches still fall, whether it's a sunny day or whether it's raining. So I don't see it as an act of God when tree branches just fall. I pick them up, bundle them up, break them up. Some of my elderly neighbors, I live in a very mature neighborhood, I love my neighbors, help me break the branches up, put them in the bags, and put the stickers on. So I've been adhering to that. I've been addressing this and talking to Mr. Ewald, very sweet person, all along, and he told me to come back in May and address it, and I've done that, met the new forester, and we've had a conversation. So this is very dear to me, and it's like I've been going through a cycle. I've been presenting, I've gone before the Park Commission, done that, so it's like a cycle is going on, and I want this to be really addressed and taken serious, because I can't access my street without, my driveway without scrubbing. I have a carport, and I would love to consistently park under there. Now I'm resorting to parking in the street because I hate to hear that sound, and if you get a chance to go out and drive in and out my driveway, you will see the scuff marks and you will see the root exposed, and you will see the gashes in the asphalt where my contractor scraped his truck, and I don't like him having to endure that because I don't want to pay for his truck. So again, it took a very long time for me to constantly address this and get some results, and some people working on remedying this, but this just pacifying the situation. I cannot and will not stop until the tree is gone. It's just in me. I'm going to continue to be respectful. Again, that's how I was raised. But I will be dear to what's true to me and what's best. It's a tree. It's going to grow. The canopy system.
Your time has expired. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. I'll be back.
Our next request to speak is Gerald Tiers.
Good evening, Gerald Tiers, 7345 Chamberlain. Apparently, U-City's at it again. Things that are routine in other municipalities are a problem here, and I don't know why. My neighbors are having some work done by a contractor. I know you want to hear about this, right? One item is replacing a deck that was badly damaged by the fall of a tree. The deck is being replaced on the same footprint. It's not a change. They're not putting up a mega deck. There's nothing going on. There should be no big issues, just a replacement to current standards by a company that does this work regularly. But I'm told that it took the contractor all day to get the permit for the deck. The process had already been started. This wasn't a walk-in, I want a permit situation. Although even that would not have been unreasonable for a simple deck. So a straight replacement of a deck requires all day for a permit, waiting for the permit, by the way, all day, where the process has already been started. This contractor does work all over the area. He did not expect this problem. It's just this sort of unnecessary delay over simple routine things that causes contractors to dislike and even refuse to work in U-City or to bid on projects here. I surely hope that this sort of problem is not going to occur with approvals and actions needed by your new partner, Novus. When working on a larger project in complex plans, U-City is going to have to step up and do a professional job. It's not going to improve your image if there are problems and delays that would not occur in other municipalities. Word has it that there will already be some problems and some bad publicity coming up for you. There's no need to make it worse. Thank you.
Our next request to speak is Aaron Ginsberg.
Honorable Mayor and City Council, my name is Erin Ginsberg. I live at 430 West Point Court. With all the dog park discussion, U-City Trap Neuter Return members wanted to keep you updated about our community kitties too. We've been letting our neighbors know about Bark's low-cost neuter vaccination deworming opportunity. Just $15 per cat and $25 per dog with proof of low income. To schedule an appointment, just call 314-771-7387. We've also been sharing this recent article about trap, neuter, return working cats, providing rodent control for their community. According to Manatee Animal Control Service, quote, if you have a problem with vermin, rats, or mice, this is an ideal solution. They even provide stress relief for their first responders. Last but not least, in the past 2 weeks, in U-City's 3rd Ward, U-City TNR volunteers trapped, neutered, vaccinated, and returned 8 adult cats, and we sent 4 kittens to rescue. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes this section of our citizen participation. We'll now move on to the consent agenda. We have a number of items on the consent agenda. One of the items has a number of citizens that are requesting to speak, which is item number J2. And since all of the items on the consent agenda are normally taken as one vote, I will ask that the citizens now come forward and make their comments regarding item number J2. And again, when your name is called, please come forward. Please give your name and address, and the time limit is 5 minutes as well. The first request to speak under the consent agenda item for the dog play area is Jackie Sprague. Not here? Okay. Next request to speak is Damian Ford. And if you would, push the button at the bottom of and that'll get the microphone on. Thank you very much.
My name is Damian Ford. I live at 7162 Vernon Avenue, right down the road from the dog park. I sat in on the study session, and the reason why I would like to speak, while I work for a company called Fur Real Fun. We are dog sitters, pet walkers. And in that nature, we are professionals in our business. So what I would like to speak on is, I see the matter is with the agreement to terminate the agreement with People for Dogs. And I would like to possibly request, if it's not already in the works, an additional meeting over the discussion of the rewriting of the rules, the enforcement of the rules, and what that does entail. I've spoken with the Parks Director as well about whenever that becomes an entity of the city, what all does that entail, and obviously it hasn't been discussed yet. Obviously the dissolution of the park is not on the high priority list, but we more or less have concerns about individuals, dog control, obviously on both sides. We have some unruly animals, individuals have unruly animals, but it's the self-policing that we look to kind of keep doing. But my request is that we can have the information more publicly ready for this study session. We literally found out about it over the weekend. It wasn't publicly posted anywhere, and if it was, we weren't made aware of it. But it was kind of a shock and awe for us, so we wanted to be here and present, if any, case in the defense of the pet sitters going to dog park, and how, like, us as a company, we are professionals, we're professionally trained, we're certified in pet first aid, pet psychology, and dealing with large groups of animals. It was discussed by a question addressed by Mr. Clay. I think it was you that it discussed the limit per person, or was asked per person of how many dogs an individual could maintain. And it was just more or less, if that discussion is in the future, we would like to be notified and be present at it so that we could, in sense, defend ourselves properly. But as far as that goes, I think that was a lot of the issues that the people wanted to discuss today, and they will speak for themselves as well. But it was more or less to kind of see where everything was at. I think this is a premature gathering, so to speak, to what is actually being discussed. But we are for the city taking over the dog park, but it would be more of a community interaction that we would like to be involved in, rather than just the city discussing and making decisions behind closed doors. I know obviously you guys have your meetings, but it's kind of along the lines where we wanted to show up and at least defend our side of it. Because I know there was a lot of complaints about the sitters and not being able to control their dogs whenever there's individuals who can't control their dogs, and small dogs on large dog side, so on and so forth. But I would just, I don't know where that information is. I'd like to be informed if possible, where all that information would be at on the next meeting for the discussion if the city does decide to dissolve the previous members. So, but I thank you.
Thank you. Our next request to speak is Morgan Matz. Matz? Could you, thank you.
It's Morgan Matz. I'm at 7248 Amherst. Damien actually did cover my point, but just to be brief, I agree with him. We definitely need to have a public discussion if any consideration of rule changes are going to happen with the dog park, simply because, and I'm sure you guys know, people just like to complain. So we'd really like to defend our position on the matter. That's really it. If and when you decide to go that route, a public discussion should be had. Thanks.
Thank you. Our next request to speak is Susan Burry.
Hi, Susan Borey. I live at 7245 Princeton. We joined the dog park in January, and since then I've been going 3 or 4 times a week. I often see the dog walkers there, and in fact, we often try to go at the same time they are there because my dogs enjoy playing with them. The only times on the couple of occasions I've had an issue was with an individual dog owner and their dog. I've never seen the dog sitters have an issue, and they all take very good care and keep an eye on their dogs. And I had no idea that the people who have been doing the volunteering were wanting to pass this on to you guys, because I would like to get involved as a volunteer, whether it stays the way it is or if the city takes over. I like to be a part of it, because it's I want the dog park to continue. We all of us that go love it, and our dogs do too, and I think it's just better for the city to have a lot of these active dogs have a place to run and play, and it just, you know. So that's all I had to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next request to speak is Bryce Kehoe.
Thank you.
Can I have your name and address, please?
Bryce Kehoe at 6552 Corbett. I haven't heard about the I-70 Olive development before. That is probably going to be a real benefit to the city, and just cleaning up stuff and income taxes, jobs, etc. So I hope you guys do that. We've been beating on this issue about the dog park for over a year now. I'm surprised we're still talking about it. I thought it happened. But the city has a whole lot more stuff and equipment and personnel and stuff to maintain the park better than an individual organization does. So this would be a good process for all dog people and dogs in the city. And I also thought, third, that we've been beating on the thing about chickens for a long time too, and I kind of thought it had kind of happened. And I'd like to have chickens. And I think a year and a half or so ago, I offered to bribe you guys with a dozen eggs every so often. Just joking, folks. But we've talked about the thing with chickens, and it's time to do it. We've been talking and talking and talking. And that's pretty much it, what I got.
Thank you.
You're looking at me like you've got a question.
No, you signed up for 2 items. Did you cover the chickens with the dogs?
Yeah.
I feel like Noah on the ark tonight.
I'm fine. Thank you, and thanks for your consideration.
So to my colleagues, you have before you the consent agenda with items 1, 2, and 3. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented? Motion by Mr. Hales. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Clay. Any discussion? Mr. Clay.
Just wanted to acknowledge the position of the project manager focused on utility construction positions. This is something that certainly Councilman Smotherson and myself have discussed, but other council members have also mentioned it as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this position progresses with managing our utility contractors. Other duties are also expressed in the job description, but I'm very excited about, I believe it was bullet point 6 specifically in the job description that dealt with utility contractor management. So thankful for that.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. I will now move forward. There is no city manager's report this evening. We will move forward to unfinished business. We now have before us Bill number 9387. May we have the second reading?
An ordinance fixing the compensation to be paid to city officials and employees as enumerated herein from and after its passage and repealing ordinance number 7098.
May we have the third reading?
An ordinance fixing the compensation to be paid to city officials and employees as enumerated herein from and after its passage and repealing ordinance number 7098.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve Bill number 9387? Motion by Ms. Carr, seconded by Mr. McMahon. Any discussion? Hearing none, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Carr?
Aye.
Councilmember McMahon?
Aye.
Councilmember Hales?
Aye.
Councilmember Kusick?
Aye.
Councilmember Clay?
Aye.
Mayor Crowe?
Aye. May we have the second reading of Bill number 9388?
An ordinance amending sections 510.060 and 510.080 of the University City Municipal Code regarding development plans and tax abatement or exemption pursuant to Chapter 353 of the Revised Statute of Missouri.
May we have the third reading?
An ordinance amending sections 510.060 and 510.080 of the University City Municipal Code regarding development plans and tax abatement or exemption pursuant to Chapter 353 of the Revised Statute of Missouri.
Is there a motion? Motion by Mr. McMahon, seconded by Ms. Carr. Any discussion? Hearing none, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember McMahon?
Aye.
Councilmember Hales?
Aye.
Councilmember Kusick?
Aye.
Councilmember Clay?
Aye.
Councilmember Carr?
Aye.
Mayor Crowe?
Aye. May we have the second reading of Bill number 9389?
An ordinance amending Chapter 210, Article 1, Animals Generally of the Municipal Code of the City of University City by amending Section 210.030 thereof relating to chickens containing a savings clause and providing a penalty.
May we have the third reading?
An ordinance amending Chapter 210, Article 1, Animals Generally of the Municipal Code of the City of University City by amending Section 210.030 thereof relating to chickens containing a savings clause and providing a penalty.
Is there a motion to approve? Motion by Mr. McMahon, seconded by Mr. Hales. I know we have a couple of requests to speak. And again, Mr. Keel, you're good, right? You've already spoken on chickens? You're, okay. Okay. Thank you. Ms. Stratman, I believe you have a request to speak.
Kathy Stratman, 6855 Plymouth Avenue, University City. University City. I just want to give you a little rundown on country animals. In the country, our kitty cats live in the barn and they keep the mice and rat population down. Our doggies burrow a little ditch under one of the outbuildings and live on squirrels and rabbits and table scraps that we put out by the barrel where we burn our trash. And when we go out to collect the eggs from the coop, we make sure the snakes aren't there. But Dwayne already told me this is probably going to pass, so I'm probably going to have to live with it. But when country girls move from the country to the city, we don't pack up our chickens and bring them with us. And when we get here, we don't miss them. But I would like to counterpoint. There was a little girl, a young woman who spoke at our last meeting asking for less restrictions for our city chickens. I'm just going to counterpoint that. I would like to have some restrictions and some monitoring because I'm pretty sure city chickens aren't going to be cleaner than country chickens. And chicken coops can get pretty gross. So I hope we have some monitoring. And I understand I'm going to have to live with them, but I'm not going to like it. And thank you guys for always listening to all of us. I appreciate it. It can't always be easy. Thank you.
Thank you. There are no further requests to speak on Bill number 9389. Do members of council have anything they wish to say? Would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Hales.
Aye.
Councilmember Kusick.
Aye.
Councilmember Clay.
Aye.
Councilmember Carr. Councilmember McMahon.
Aye.
Mayor Crowe.
Aye. May we have the second reading of Bill number 9390?
An ordinance amending Section 115.270 of the University City Municipal Code relating to parks and recreational facilities designated by designating the dog play area as a park.
May we have the third reading?
An ordinance amending Section 115.270 of the University City Municipal Code relating to parks and recreational facilities designated by designating the dog play area as a park.
Is there a motion to approve? Motion approved by Mr. Kusick. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. McMahon. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Kusick.
Aye.
Councilmember Clay.
Aye.
Councilmember Carr.
Aye.
Councilmember McMahon.
Aye.
Councilmember Hales.
Aye.
Mayor Crowe.
Aye. The resolution passes. We'll now move forward into new business. Who would like to introduce resolution number 2019-10? Excuse me. A motion by Ms. Carr. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Hales. As we move forward with resolution 2019-10, I would ask the city attorney to take a moment and walk us through the resolution.
Sure.
Or the status. Is that
yeah.
okay with you? I'm sorry, I apologize.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Sure. Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. So Resolution 2019-10 executes and administers an existing policy passed by the city council several years ago, and that policy is that any person using the city ambulances shall be charged one or more fees for the use as may be established from time to time. And as the council knows, we haven't had occasion to impose these fees because we had a contract with a provider, and my understanding is that contract still is in effect, but the city may be transitioning to providing in-house ambulance service. So the fire department has requested that the council now establish the fees that are current at this time in neighboring jurisdictions. Namely, the city of Ladue passed a similar resolution, from what I understand, and others with the substantially same provisions and rates. So this would put U City in line with what the neighboring jurisdictions have done. It will be executing the existing ordinance on it. And as we move forward, there may be changes from time to time. This resolution specifically states that the council may adjust these after considering the actual cost of the services. There may be other actions the council may need to take as the city transitions to providing in-house ambulance service, so you may see additional measures before you in the future. But this kind of kicks off the establishment of the fees and billing policies and procedures for the transition.
I would also like to note that the resolution has one typographical error, a Scrivener's error. There's a word that is disposals. It should be disposables, just so that everyone knows that as you move forward on page 1. So you have a motion before you. You have a second. Is there any discussion, further discussion by council? Hearing none. Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you very much. I will now move forward to council reports and business. Does any member of council have any report they'd like to make under this particular line item? Hearing none, we can move forward to citizen participation. And there is, to the best of my knowledge, no one else who has signed up to speak. So we will now move to council comments. Do members of council have any comments they would like to make this evening? Mr. Clay.
Thank you, Mayor Crow. Just wanted to quickly address, because I know there's been some conversation about the chicken ordinance that was just approved. And to be quite candid, in the life of University City, I don't see this as a particularly significant movement either way. I think we have far more weighty things that we are wrestling. But there is one point that I do want to highlight in the ordinance. The fee reduction from $50 to $25. Again, this is not significant. It's not as if we're going to realize significant revenue generation irrespective of the price point of the fee. But I do think I think we just need to be concerned with the signaling associated with that fee reduction. This is something that is voluntary and in full transparency. I think my wife may want to do this, but which will be another conversation. But I know. But my issue, and it's not really an issue because again, I don't see this as an incredibly significant issue, but we have fees in place for many things in the city, things that can be challenging for some residents that they have no option in paying. For example, refuse service, sewer lateral program participation, those kinds of things. And so to have something that is optional and to have a fee reduction there is a little concerning. Again, at the end of the day, I voted for it because it's not going to generate significant revenue either way. I don't frankly see it as a large issue, but I felt like I should highlight that, and that was something on my mind. So I just wanted to bring that forward in the scheme of what this is.
Any other comments from members of council? Mr. McMahon?
Just to highlight the reason for the reduction, if we go back to when the first ordinance was passed, there were only 5 permits, 5 in the whole city. 5 by ordinance. There was only 5 that were allowed. And so you couple that with the fees that were charged for the multiple inspections over time, what you really ended up having was nobody was going to be applying for permits. But I can guarantee you, there are people in this city with chickens right now, and there's more than 5. And so what we really are looking at is, why aren't we allowing people who want to do this in a reasonable manner, instead of having a fee that was created, which was basically done to stop people from doing something? Either we're going to have the chickens and allow them, or we're not. And if you look back at the history of the minutes on the chickens, there was actually a phrase that mentioned, we're going to have them, but we're going to do it in a way that basically says we're not going to have them. It was basically council members doing something, saying one thing and doing another, appeasing both sides of the fence. And that really doesn't seem what we're doing. And it's okay, Kevin. And so in this instance, that's why there was a reduction, is because it made sense to make a reasonable fee for someone who wants to do this and have reasonable inspections, as opposed to, what was it, quarterly. So that was the whole purpose behind a reduction in the fee, because it really just didn't make sense. And it's still optional. And so I think the people that came to me and said repeatedly over a long time, including Bryce, get this done. And so I'm glad we finally got it done, and yes, the wheels turn slowly. Thank you.
Very, very, very quickly, please remember that we are on our summer schedule. There's one meeting in July. Our next meeting will be August the 12th. Tomorrow evening, there will be a meeting of the Economic Development Retail Sales Tax Board at 6 p.m. Here on the 5th floor of City Hall. And on August the 6th, since we will not be meeting until the 12th, on August the 6th is National Night Out Against Crime at the McNair Administrative Building, where the Police Department and Neighborhood Watch focus group will be working with the school district with their school rally. And donations can be made as well by contacting Captain Dana Morley. Hearing nothing, hearing no further comments, I would ask for a motion to go back into closed session according to Missouri Revised Statute 610.021 legal. Is there a motion? Motion by Mr. Cusick. Is there a second? Seconded by Ms. Carr. Would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Hales.
Aye.
Councilmember Cusick. Councilmember Clay. Councilmember Carr.
Aye.
Councilmember McMahon.
Aye.
Mayor Crowe.
Aye. Thank you very much.